Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be discussing all of the latest news and reveals that have literally just taken place at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. The Transformers panel has just concluded and they gave us our first official look of Transformers Legacy Wave 3. Now overall I think the panel was slightly underwhelming. They merely did just focus on Transformers Legacy and didn't show off any future product for Transformers Studio Series, and I do believe that the Earthspark Toyline panel will be hosted tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get a few more reveals tomorrow, but as far as the main Generations line is concerned, Transformers Legacy is looking to be the only thing that we'll be seeing this weekend. But still, some really awesome reveals. Now before we actually delve in, I will be sure to include links down in the description box below where I found these images. Sadly, I wasn't able to attend San Diego Comic-Con as I am based in the UK, so I'm super grateful for those who did take pictures at the convention, and it is a shame that Hasbro didn't decide to live stream this, as I know there would be many of us out there that would love to actually take part. But nevertheless, let's get stuck straight here into the reveals, and to kick things off we have the Deluxe class Skullgrin. This is a character of which I've been really excited for. He was leaked rather recently, I want to say, and none of us really knew what he would entail, but much like the Pretender Shell Iguanas that we saw for the core class, they appear to be scrapping that entire gimmick Pretender Shell thing completely and are giving him just one proper Deluxe class figure, and overall I think he looks awesome. A really nice image here of the robot mode. Another thing worth pointing out is that they didn't showcase any of the accessories nor alternate modes for these characters, and did mention that there will be a Transformers live stream that will be taking place on August 16th and that they'll give us more details then. But considering you're showcasing some of these reveals at San Diego Comic-Con, which is by far one of the biggest events to take place in 2022, I really think it would have been a good idea to show collectors the complete package as to what they could expect from these particular characters. But nevertheless, as we take a look here at Skullgrin, I think his robot mode looks really nicely done, much like Iguanas. This for the most part is a pretty original take. I am quite glad that they have decided to scrap the Pretender Shell, as it really does allow them to nail the look here of the robot mode. It is rumoured that this guy will transform into a tank, but to go back to my earlier point, they didn't showcase any images of the accessories nor the alt mode, but you can see some of the turrets actually sticking out from behind his head, and I think overall the bot mode design looks awesome. I'd actually quite like to see an almost bludgeon repaint slash retool out of this. I know he would probably have to be a Voyager, but just by judging from this mold, I think it could work pretty nicely. But yeah, that head sculpt is just so awesome, and I really love the detail that we've got for the hip armor. That looks super cool, definitely very samurai-esque, and we've even got some pretty neat looking shoulder armor as well. So Skullgrin by far looking to be the highlight out of this deluxe wave for me. And then we jump into the deluxe class Autobot Blanka. Now of course this is point blank. I'm not entirely sure as to why they've decided to rename him. Perhaps it's something to do with licensing or a trademark, but he looks fantastic. He's turned out so much better than I could have imagined. The robot mode looks insane, and the color deco as well. He's super vibrant, much like his original animation model. I think the head sculpt looks killer. We sadly don't actually have an image of his target master. I know that was something that was mentioned in the Amazon listings, but considering they didn't showcase the accessories, we can't see that here with this image. But from what I can tell, this is going to be an awesome figure. If anything, the legs do look slightly thin, especially from a side perspective, and they do appear to be pretty hollow, so I'm hoping in hand he's a little more solid than how the lower section is appearing here from this image. But overall, once again, another smashing looking figure. And to go back to what I mentioned earlier on in the week, Transformers Legacy Wave 1 was off to a rocky start, but Wave 2 started to get really great, and Wave 3 is an absolute whopper. These figures look insane. So there we have Blanka slash Point Blank. The next deluxe figure is the deluxe class Crankcase. This guy also looks really nicely done. Initially, I thought he was going to be a retool, and judging from some of these images, he does look vaguely familiar to skids that we saw as part of Wave 1, especially where the leg design is concerned. But I do believe this is a complete brand new mold, or at least I'm hoping it is. You can kind of see that he too does have a block attached to the back of the head, so perhaps this is a partial of skids. I guess we'll have to wait and see for more images, but yeah, he looks pretty decent. Definitely not the one that I personally am clamoring for out of the entire lineup. I don't really like the look of the chest design. It looks slightly peculiar in contrast to the rest of the figure, but for those of you who are a fan of the character, I'm pretty certain that you'll like this guy. And then the next deluxe figure we have is a Stunticon, probably one of the highlights out of Legacy as a whole, and here we have Dead End. So this is actually our second to last Stunticon. The next one to be revealed I imagine we'll see in Wave 4, but Dead End looking really cool, a lot better than Wild Rider. I wasn't a big fan of Wild Rider, I'm sorry. I really loved what they did with Dragstrip and Motormaster, but Wild Rider was just a massive no-no to me. But Dead End looks fantastic. He really looks nicely done, a massive improvement when in comparison to the version that we saw for Combiner Wars. I think the head sculpt top looks amazing. The chest piece also really nicely done, and just overall as a singular deluxe, he looks fantastic. So I am looking forward to seeing as to what his Stunticon Alt mode looks like and how he'll actually integrate into Motormaster. I imagine that he'll just become the arm or the leg. I'm not too sure what component he forms, but this deluxe figure is definitely looking really cool. Once again, looking forward to the Alt mode and the images of his accessories. We also got a very quick rundown of some of the Voyager figures. So here we have Armada Starscream. The only reasoning behind why I'm talking about this guy is because this official image actually showcases the thrusters actually situating on his shoulders like the rocket cannons as seen in Transformers Armada, which I think is fantastic. It was something that some of those early product shots didn't showcase, but to see them properly deployed over the shoulders, I think this guy looks great. I just cannot wait to get him in hand. He looks like a proper solid Voyager. He could potentially be the best Voyager out of Transformers Legacy. And then we also got, yet again, another re-announcement of sorts for the Beast Wars Predacon Inferno, looking just as great as some of those original images. He looks so cool. I actually really like his hands. They kind of remind me of a Lego minifig, the way they've been designed, but definitely a really cool looking figure. Both the Voyager figures, I really just cannot wait to get into the collection. And the Leader Class figure, oh my goodness, this is one that I've been talking about for so long over on the channel, so long that I actually started to believe that he wasn't true, but lo and behold, the Leader Class for Wave 3 will be a Transmetal 2 Beast Wars Dragon Megatron, and he looks fantastic, at least as far as the robot mode is concerned. I think it's such a shame that they didn't showcase us his Dragon mode, as that is of course probably the mode that 9 times out of 10 collectors will display him in. I know at least I will, so I would have liked to have seen the Dragon mode, especially considering that this is a leader, it's a higher price point figure. Collectors want to know what they're getting for their money, but this guy's looking fantastic. The head sculpt is amazing. I'm just so glad that they are actually beginning to dip their toes into characters of which are slightly more niche and obscure when in comparison to your bog standard Generation 1 Megatron, Optimus Prime, and even Beast Wars Megatron and Prime to an extent. The fact that we're actually seeing some Transmetal characters in the mainline is just awesome, and it's the first time we're seeing these characters for a super long time, and I really don't think this guy disappoints at all. The chest piece looks fantastic. I love that circular section that we've got slap bang in the center of the chest. I really like how the dragon head actually becomes one of his arms. That's looking fantastic and kind of gives us a hint of what to expect when we get this guy transformed up into that beast mode. So much detail going on for that dragon head. We can see the wings sticking out from the back. I'm hoping that he has a slightly greater and more substantial wingspan when in comparison to what we're seeing here for the robot mode. I am hoping that for this image that they're compressed and perhaps overlapping on one another, as it would be so cool to have some proper wings of which actually have a pretty decent length, and considering this is a leader, I am expecting it to be quite big. You can see the legs look awesome. I think the knee pads and the shins look great, and we can also see those dragon feet, which of course he'll use for the robot mode as well. Articulation looks to be on point, just overall fantastic looking figure, and even there where the shoulders are concerned, you can see those spikes which are flaring from behind him. So overall, such a cool release, but it is such a shame that they didn't showcase the dragon mode. I know they very quickly showed off the box art, but you really couldn't get a great look of what we could expect from that dragon mode. So here's hoping that we get yet another leak before August 16th, as that's near enough a month away until we actually get some images of the accessories and of course the alt modes. And just as I was about to wrap up editing my original take on some of these reveals, someone actually did snap a proper HD image of the back of the box, and oh my goodness, this Leader Class figure is looking to just be absolutely insane. So here we have an actual image of what the Dragon mode is going to entail, and this thing just looks incredible. Now the wings I do wish were slightly more joined together. I'm not a big fan of kind of this almost 3 spiked looking thing that we've got going on, but still, it looks really impressive. I love the head sculpt. The dragon head looks incredible. We've even got a close-up image of him breathing actual fire, so he will include a fire-breathing blast effect, and in all, this is just looking to be one of the best looking leader classes from not only Legacy, but probably from the War for Cybertron line. I am so impressed with what I'm seeing here. You can even see those tiny little dragon arms, which appear to have a pretty decent range of articulation. I'm actually quite surprised at how many ball joints the head does appear to have in the dragon form. Just overall, it's looking to be such a cool looking figure, and I definitely think it's going to give the Kingdom T-Rex Megatron a run for its money. And here we have another better, closer up image of what Megatron will look like when in robot mode, and it's just as good good as the initial image, if not slightly better. So overall, yeah, this Dragon Megatron is looking sick, and they also gave us a surprise announcement that in the form of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which I believe I spoke about very recently, perhaps it was on Monday, and it is that rumoured Alpha Trion and Orion Pack 2-pack, and this actually looks pretty nicely done. As you guys can see, they will be using the Studio Series 86 Scourge as a base for Alpha Trion. I guess it kind of makes sense. Out of all of the mainline figures that are currently out there, Scourge probably fits the character design of Alpha Trion the best. I would have loved to have seen a complete brand new original sculpt, but considering this is an SDCC exclusive, it's not going to be made in mass quantities like some of your regular figures that you'd find at retail, so they have to just use what they can get, and I think it does the job. The head sculpt is looking to be fantastic. Sadly, we don't have some proper up-close images at the time of this recording, but the head does appear to be retooled. I'm not too sure about the body or the legs. That does appear to be a direct carryover from Scourge, but they are using both of the open hands from both Scourge and the 86 Sweep, so it will be different in terms of mold when compared to those figures, and the wings that stick out to the sides, which I imagine form the cape for Alpha Trion, are also slightly retooled, and I think they've got the color deco near enough on point. Here we have an image of Orion packs, and much like it was rumored, this is going to be a retool slash repaint of the Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Cup, and overall I think it suits it rather nicely. The chest does appear to be completely retooled. It does definitely have quite a few new attachments to that, and doesn't have that massive windscreen that we saw with Cup. I'm not too sure on accessories. It does look as if though he includes the same blaster, just cast out of red plastic, and I'm not too sure whether or not that's the Energon dispenser, but the head sculpt is looking great, much like Alpha Trion, a great redeco and repurpose of a Studio Series 86 mold, and it is super cool that he'll actually come with Vector Sigma and the key of Vector Sigma as well. So overall, this is looking to be a really fun and cool SDCC exclusive. I really enjoyed the Covert Agent Ravage they put out last year, but this is looking as if they could potentially top it in terms of what we're getting. I just hope I can get my hands on this. Of course, unlike the previous two that we've seen previously released, this will actually be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive and not a PulseCon exclusive. But yeah, overall that pretty much wraps up the reveals. I guess in all it was pretty decent. The Transformers Legacy reveals were very nicely done, especially the Dragon Megatron and this SDCC exclusive. I am hoping though we can see images of the 4 Deluxe figures in their alt modes sooner rather than later, but Dragon Megatron definitely looking to be awesome. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you guys think of all of these reveals? Are there any figures here that you guys plan on adding to the collection, and which is the one that you guys are most excited for? I thank you all so much for watching, and until my next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.